Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hump Day.
That's right, we made it.
or as it's known around here lately, Rain Day, which is like almost every day.
Day is rain day, yes.
You know what? I got 18 holes in on Saturday.
Come on.
Kid you not. You not. Called my good buddy Chris Kniff over at St. James.
Yep.
And if you've ever played over there, they've got those 3 drainage canals. One's on the north side of the property.
Oh, it drains good.
There's one through the middle, and then there's another one on the south end.
This is true.
And
no problem.
they drain real well, that golf course. I mean, no cart path only. No, I mean, actually got some roll on the ball. The only bad part was you didn't want to hit it in a bunker.
The bunkers didn't drain.
Well, they were drained, but they were hard.
Yeah.
They were the water packed the sand in there pretty good. So hitting out of bunkers was interesting.
I'm gonna be going out there. I've been trying to reach him for some business, and I called the other day, and again, when courses get this wet, every golf course goes into panic mode, and
yeah.
I mean, it's got to be 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, going on 2 weeks of rain.
Yeah.
And no golf.
Yeah.
I mean, like no golf rain.
Yeah.
And they have to cut their budgets, start sending people home. It's really tough. But I called out there, and it was like yesterday we finally got a little sun, right?
Yeah.
They were playing. I mean, they had like 120 players out there. So it probably goes back into the fact that and actually that brings up a good topic, right? So we talk golf, we cover golf. We're going to talk our tour stuff in a minute, but golf courses that are, I mean, a lot of courses that play in our area, the Eagle Marshes, even the Champions. I mean, you have the word marsh, and you're not going to play.
Yeah,
and
when you've had to design your golf course around a lot of wetlands,
you're going to have a tough day. It's really good that Champions Turf Club at St. James, right?
Yes.
And they spent a lot of money making sure that course did drain well. So that is a benefit, right?
Yep.
Well, how did you play? Did you have a good Saturday? You haven't played in a while.
I birdied the first hole.
That's unusual,
Par
right?
5, hit a nice drive, hit a little hybrid to lay up, hit a lob wedge to about 10, 12 feet, made the putt.
Yeah.
I should have quit.
Yeah.
Because on 2, I darn near drove it out of bounds. But I had some good holes. I had some bad holes. But,
right.
When you play, I used to play a lot, and now I don't play quite as often.
Sure,
and,
it's hard.
It takes a little while to get back in the groove.
Get the rest, yeah. I want to go out. I haven't been out to the Florida Club yet. That's someplace I want to go. I want to go check out, but I know they probably got a ton of rain too. That course. Now maybe with some of the changes they made, maybe the drainage is better because I don't think that was a good draining course I don't remember it being good, but I don't remember it being.
Yeah, I don't remember it being bad, but it's.
So,
well, I know. My regular job, I work for a land surveying company, and we're doing a lot of work for GL Homes out in Tradition, where they're building, and they've been shut down. Just
can't work.
They can't work. They can't do any earthwork or any of that. I talked to them yesterday to see, if they had anything coming up that they might need a crew, one of our survey crews for, and as of yesterday morning, they'd gotten 17 inches of rain.
Wow.
In 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's a lot of rain, man.
I wonder what's going on with Michael Jordan's course out there with the Grove 23, if that's really being affected. It has to be.
I need a rowboat.
Yeah. But that's
instead of a cart, get a rowboat.
We don't really know how long I forgot where they were. They had routed. Were they putting down grass and seed?
Yeah, they were grassing greens and stuff when we talked to
so that probably didn't help
to them, yeah. So
Yeah, well, everybody has to adjust. But anyway,
the other courses are pretty lush, a lot of green.
Well, we got lucky yesterday. I mean, I was looking at the radar. I mean, there was like huge torrential rain that went offshore. Did you look at the radar yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about flooding. I mean, yesterday would have been the worst day of the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It was so dense, and it was so dark, and it had a lot of a lot of yellow, but it was that big, heavy green, radar rain that we know just locks us down.
Yeah.
But, man, my grass is beautiful.
Yeah.
My lawn guys came the other day.
Looks like a jungle.
Oh, my gosh. It's like, look at my yard. look what I own. It's just beautiful.
Go out there and throw some fertilizer down real quick.
Oh man, but they didn't cut for a while, so then you realize that I got a lot of weeds too in that green grass.
A lot of stuff came in.
You never, everybody in Florida knows when you have a lawn service, you're going to pick up everybody's yard they cut.
Yeah.
If it's not all maintained and,
Yeah.
and perfectly done,
Yep.
you're going to pick up every weed in everybody's yard. So something we deal with on a regular basis in Florida.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else is going on?
About it.
That's about it. So
Yeah, had a nice holiday weekend.
yeah, everybody did.
Got a lot of
wet,
work.
A wet holiday weekend.
Like I said, managed to play golf Saturday morning, but spent Saturday and Saturday afternoon and Sunday and part of Monday, getting caught up on some work around the house. So it was good. So not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Good.
It's always good to catch up with stuff around the house. You go, oh man, I haven't
I don't
haven't
look
cleaned
forward-
over there in a while.
I don't look forward to that at all. If I can't see it, it's okay.
Yeah, really. Just throw a shirt over that. And we'll look at it later. We'll come back to it.
If you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So Frank, what do you got? You got a picture of that volcano rolling, huh?
Yeah.
Frank likes the...
I am on top of this. It is just
Frank is fascinated by
yeah,
this thing.
I want to be a volcanologist in my next life,
It's a
I
degree.
mean, what a great name. Volcanologist.
Hello, my name's Frank. I'm a volcanologist.
Right? And you get to do the...
Live long and prosper.
Right. The Star Trek Vulcan symbol. It all works. I love it. It's the best of both worlds.
Well, again, because I am from Hawaii, the Hawaii report is my family's fine,
Good.
but there is a lot of damage going on down in that area.
It is.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
just
no
keeps
sign
burping
of...
up more stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there's no sign of that stopping. That's just the earth forming, man. I mean, we're watching stuff that has been going on for millions of years.
Now, question: does your homeowner's insurance policy cover something like this, or do you have to have a certain rider for volcanoes? Or
I'm gonna say there's probably like some kind of rider in there, because I'm sure,
If you want to pay for it.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's that way with everything. I always get a kick out of the commercials. Oh, they don't want me to have 3/4 of a car. They're going to give me a whole car since I crashed my new car. Yeah, because you're paying a higher premium for it. It ain't like they gave it to you out of the goodness of their heart.
like they were just a little nicer company.
Exactly.
Folks, there is nothing nice about insurance companies. There's
no.
they make money hand over foot, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they know what they're doing. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to guess that volcanic home destruction is something that you have to add.
Yeah.
And but the odds of, somebody, like I was...
We don't need it here.
No, we don't need it here unless it does happen, and then all of a sudden, guess what? Oh, we don't cover that.
Yeah, exactly.
We took your $3,500 or whatever your insurance, couple $1,000 a year for your whole life, but no,
Yeah.
that's not covered with that.
Yeah. And my wife had that happen. She got in a car accident, and she had the Aflac type, insurance. I think it was through Cigna or somebody. And, we filed a claim because she was out of work for like 3-4 weeks.
Did you get paid?
And they said, nope, we're not paying it. And, well, wait a minute. What do you mean you're not paying it? Well, it didn't happen at work. It happened in your car. It happened in her car, and that's your car insurance covers that. Well, so at work, who would cover it? Well, workman's comp would cover it. All right, and if it was in my house, my homeowners would cover it then, right? Yeah. All right, where exactly do we have to be for your disability insurance to actually kick in? I mean,
Yeah, what's the point, right?
I mean, what's the point of paying for this? And I
Was it Aflac? Because I usually
no,
Aflac,
it wasn't.
Oh,
It was somebody else. And
Aflac says they're really good at that.
and,
I know people have it, so it's really good.
and I wound up getting an attorney friend of mine to kind of write him a letter, and next thing you know, they started paying her. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay. You just decided to say no and see if I'd pursue it or not.
Absolutely. That's
like-
their MO. Yeah. Always
like-
say no.
That is
It's like,
not-
really?
The world
A lot of
is
people
messed
just
up.
they hear no, they throw up their arms and they walk away,
Yeah.
and that's what they hope on.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't care because they got another bunch of people selling it anyway to them.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like that insurance you buy when you buy like you buy a used car, even if you bought it through a dealer and they want to sell you that extended warranty thing. Yeah, it sounds great. Give us $1,000, but good luck when you try to get that done.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't really save you as much as you think.
No.
But onward to golf. I mean, I kind of lost track of last week. I was so busy with the holiday. I mean, were we playing last week or?
Yeah, they actually did play.
Well,
they played in where did they play? They played in Texas, the Fort Worth Invitational.
Oh,
at
that's
Colonial
a big
Country
one.
Club.
Yeah, Colonial's gorgeous.
It's a storied golf
sure,
course.
yeah,
It's
pretty Hogan and Nelson.
Pretty good history there.
Sure.
Justin Rose.
Oh, look at that. Justin Rose is a real interesting story. You don't realize how good Justin Rose is.
Yeah, he's kind of a quiet
Star.
Yeah, exactly.
And he came out, with a lot of fanfare, right? And it kind of, went through the metamorphosis of being, the great young player and, went through a bunch of swing changes. But if you look at his career, I mean, the guy has had a great career.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have those, I can't think of all his big ones, though. What's his biggest win?
Well, obviously he's the Olympic champion. Won the gold medal at the Olympics.
Yeah. It's funny that just doesn't do it, does it?
No.
It should.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just a tough one to get behind because of how you get.
Yeah.
You represent your country, and every country had their best player there for the most part, right?
Well, he's got a U.S. Open under his belt.
That's true.
He
You
won
forget about that.
2013, I believe.
Yeah, he's got one major, right?
Yeah. So that's his major. But in the last 9 months.
I forget about the Open. It's funny because we all forget. We can't go back. I can't tell you when the Open. Open last year.
Kepka.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember that. But
yeah. He's 37 years old, Justin Rose.
Yeah.
And in the last 9 months.
Last 9 months, okay.
Last 9 months, the FedEx Cup playoffs. He finished joint runner-up at the BMW, and had 3 other top 10 finishes in the FedEx Cup playoffs. In the fall, he came from 8 strokes back to overtake Dustin Johnson and win the World Golf Championship HSBC champions
I
in
watched
Shanghai.
that one. He played really good on that.
Yeah.
I think I saw clips of that.
He then went on to capture the Turkish Airlines Open on the European Tour, won the Indonesian Masters right before the holidays.
So he's had a big year.
Yeah, and
he won Colonial.
Yeah, and then this past week started the final round, 4 shots clear of the field, and just kept going. Shot 64 on the final day.
That'll
With a 4-shot lead, not many guys gonna catch you with a
Shoot
64
on him. So you said he's got the Colonial, and he's got, was that 4 other world wins this year?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that?
Yeah.
And the HBC, well, that was a tour event. So that was 2 tour events and 3 world.
Yeah.
And the Masters in Indonesia, I bet you that's a pretty big event.
Yeah, that's the Asian Tour's big event. Yeah.
So that was probably, he probably made $10 million this year on purses.
Yeah, probably.
And talk about a quiet year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gosh, I love his swing now. it is just so solid and so on plane, and there's not a lot of moving parts. It's just such a good golf swing.
Yeah. And we got he's peaking at a pretty good time.
No,
we got the U.S. Open in a couple of weeks.
It's the right time to peak.
So and this week is the Memorial at Jack's Place.
Right, and that's got a great field.
And it's probably going to rain.
Yeah,
it
seems
saying? To rain every time. It's like every year I watch that. It seems they have a round that gets rained on.
Well, it's just the spring. It's a time of year.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we feel here kind of meanders their way up there a little bit too, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is that?
He's getting feedback on his.
Oh, he's getting
Facebook
He's getting feedback on his Facebook.
My
Facebook
was playing my Facebook back to me.
Yes.
Interesting. Hey, I'm technology way ahead of everybody. I just make sure you got everything.
But we had some good rounds at this past weekend. Kevin Na shot 61.
Man, there's another guy.
He had a round. Listen, this will tell you how good Justin Rose played.
Okay.
Kevin Na shot 61 and had I think he had shot a 61 on Thursday, shot 64 on Saturday, and still finished 11 shots behind Justin Rose.
Holy mackerel. So what did he shoot on Friday and Sunday?
I think he was like 2 or 3 over combined between Friday and Sunday's round.
That's a really weird round. 61,
and
couple
then,
over.
And then a couple over, and then a 64, and then a couple, and then a few over on Sunday.
Man, isn't that golf crazy?
Yeah.
Holy
One day
mackerel.
you got it, and the next day you don't.
It's so interesting. I do a lot of work with my players, and I have all these I've kind of branded all my own ideas on how I track things, but I have this thing I call misidentifiers, right? Mm-hmm. And a misidentifier, there's 3 types of misidentifiers. There's a physical miss, mental miss, and an intellectual miss, right?
Yeah. No.
Is that
Kevin Nana.
Oh, I got you, Kevin Nana.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh, Frank, he's out of control over there. But I'm always curious to see what. I mean, obviously, 61. There's not a lot of misses,
No, there's not.
but it's curious to see what the misses were for the 74 the
Yeah,
next day.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like what happened?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
he just go out there and start firing at everything, thinking, "Oh, I'm on fire this week, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna."
Yeah, all of a sudden you short side yourself a few times,
And
or
it's always those things,
Yeah.
like people don't realize on the higher levels, it's not like they miss that much. It's that the decision they make, and then compiled with a small miss,
Yeah.
turns into a shot that they can't recover from.
Yeah.
Or the odds of recovering are much higher than if
Yeah.
they would have missed in another place.
Yeah.
But at that level, when you're hitting it that good, it's hard to tell them not to take aim at things. But everybody has a tendency that comes out, right?
Yeah.
And pros have it just. But Kevin Na's another one. I bet you if you look at Kevin Na's earnings, it's like incredibly good. And we all think of him just being that slow guy out there that he took, don't you always think Kevin Na would be known because he's such a slow player?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I say Kevin Na, I think, nah. I mean, I'm like, I'm going to go sleep because it takes forever for him to play.
Yeah.
But that's not really fair to him because he's still a really good player.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
Methodical is the word that I
Yeah.
would
Oh, my
choose.
gosh.
Yes.
Well, and at least he's not Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
No, Rory McIlroy had a pretty good Thursday and Friday. However, over the weekend he managed to hit 2 spectators and a marshal with shots.
How does that happen? Wait. Let's roll this back, and I'll look at the. Did you hear what the man said? Rory McIlroy is hitting people. This is not President Ford playing
Or Frank.
Yeah. Or me. Yeah. Incoming.
Speaking of hitting people, I mean, I want to hear more about that. But I was on YouTube doing some kind of work, and something popped up. It was like the worst golf shots in tournament history. And there's this. Do you see the one where Tom Kite hit somebody?
Yeah.
The tee shot one where he goes, and he was this methodical, and he's going through this thing, and he still had his big glasses on. It. I don't know what he hit. I mean, it was like, and it was like this huge setup. He was in the, he was like one of the leaders. They went through the whole thing, and then he just took it back, and he just
Cold shanked it.
left, which is a weird.
He hooded it left.
Yeah, that's the shank you can almost think about, but how do you hit? And he just ripped it left and killed somebody. But they didn't he didn't really kill somebody, but I mean,
Yeah.
it just beamed somebody so hard. And I was thinking to myself, I watched it like 3 times because it's a YouTube video, so they played it over.
yeah.
And you can see the face in the crowd when the balls come in, their eyes got really big. And boink, it hits that guy, and he goes down like somebody hit him with a shotgun shell.
Oh man. Yeah. You ever get hit by a golf ball?
Oh yeah, it hurts.
It
Give me a
hurts, man.
raspberry, yeah.
Raspberry.
It'll knock you down, man. It will.
Golf ball's moving too.
And you watch these events, and you see people that are along the ropes are leaning in.
Oh, it's like take my nose
it's like,
away.
dude, you really want to do that?
Only with a helmet.
Yeah.
There's no reaction time too.
No.
Not at 180 mile an hour ball speed.
Yeah. I mean, one year back when.
That'll kill you if it hits you.
Oh
that.
yeah. Back when Tiger first came on tour.
Oh, they
like
used
a
to
couple
tighten
of years
up
in.
so tight on him.
I mean, the people that would line the fairways, and they still do. But I mean, I went to Disney, and after one of the rounds, the amateurs played with the pros up until like the last day.
Right?
Right, Disney, right. It's a
At
different
Disney.
kind of pro, yeah.
And
Different kind of event.
I talked to one of the guys that was playing with Tiger, and I said, what was it like? He goes, I've never been so scared in my life. He says, I'm not that great a golfer. I'm a good golfer, but I'm not great. He says, and I'm hitting, Tiger hits, and then people start moving around, and I'm on my tee and I'm getting ready to hit. And they're like 10, 12 deep, and they're leaning in, and they're like, he says, I was afraid. I was scared on every tee box I was going to kill somebody.
I would not be comfortable.
He says it was hard to play, and it had nothing to do with Tiger. It had to do with I was scared to death I was going to hurt somebody.
I would be. I don't even like it when I see a lot of trees blocking a hole. I don't like it. I hate like tee shots were in shoots and stuff. I'm like, I know I'm going to hit it. There's no reason to. I mean, hit it but I'm going to hit that tree because just I'm going to hit it.
Oh boy, that guy in the orange shirt really jumps out. Oh boy, I hope I don't hit him.
So what did McIlroy do? Go over what was his thing?
Well, this was I mean, this was in England at the BMW PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy had the lead going into the weekend. Shot 67-65 to lead by 3 shots going into the weekend, and then just
Lost it.
Yeah, like I said, he shot 71-70 over the weekend with 2 spectators and a marshal.
Wow. I don't know if I can go 71-70 as lost it, but obviously he hit some.
He had a couple of loose shots in there. Yeah, if you, a marshal too.
Well, the marshal could have been out in the middle of nowhere.
You never know where they're standing. Yeah, I mean,
I wonder what kind of people
he might have been one of those guys. The marshal, down the fairway somewhere, and he's eating he's eating his tuna fish sandwich that his wife gave him for lunch, and he's not paying attention. The ball's not even really that far off the fairway, and it gets plunked.
I've only played a few times in events where there was like crowds, and it's a different feel. I mean, we used to play when I was in Hawaii playing. We used to play the week before the Hawaiian Open. There's a big tournament called the Pearl Open, right? It was Honda owned this big course, and David Ishii was the head pro, who was like a famous Hawaii player and won on tour. And there used to be, oh my gosh, that first tee, there had to be 3,000 people because. The clubhouse is built on like a big L, and the putting green's in front of it. It's like 3 stories, and the first tee is right on the putting green. So the whole clubhouse is there. The whole putting green is there. I mean, I actually played with Mac O'Grady in that tournament. I've got paired with him. I played with Bob Eastman. I played because everybody was in town.
Yeah,
before the Hawaiian Open, because it's a long trip, right? Everybody played pro. Everybody played pro. It was like if the Pro Open sponsored by Honda. I mean, it was like a big thing. There'd be 50, 80 Japanese tour players, and we always played. But I remember every year I'd be standing on that first tee when they announce your name, and it's like,
Boy, I better hit a good one.
Yeah. I hit in the trees almost every single time. I've never. It's like so stupid. It's like it's a little raised, and there's a bunch of trees, and it's not a real. It's like we played it. It's like, man, but I hit in the trees like every single time. Every single time. It's like.
Oh well. Man!
But it was an aggressive tree. It was an aggressive hit.
Yes, the trees just got in your way. All right.
Yeah.
We got time for a break. What are we doing?
Time for a break.
I think so.
We'll play Kevin Na's theme song on the way.
I think so. All right. We'll be right back. So stay tuned.
And welcome back to the Wednesday Night Golf Show, the Hump Day edition on WSTU Radio, WSTUtv.com. Talking about golf, Justin Rose won the...
Colonial?
Well, it was at Colonial.
They don't call it that
It was
anymore.
what was it, the Fort Worth Invitational
Fort Worth Invitational.
at Colonial Country Club.
One of, so in Texas, right? Colonial's got to be the most famous course in Texas.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's because
Can't think of too many others.
well, it's funny that Texas got great golf, but they don't have that mystique course. I mean, you got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They'll start popping in your head as you think about them, but
Yeah.
nothing stands out like Colonial.
Yeah.
And it's because Nelson
It's got the
played
history
Golden Day,
and
and
it's got pedigree.
it's got huge pedigree. And if I'm not mistaken, almost all of their big events ran through Colonial. So
Yeah.
if you were a good Texas player, sooner or later you're going to win something at Colonial. Otherwise, you really can't say you had much of a career. So that's pretty cool that he won that. So.
Well, on the European Tour, Francesco Molinari won the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth.
In England,
At Wentworth Club, the West Course.
I'd go play that.
I'd go play that. Yeah. I would love to go. I would love to follow the European Tour around and play on all their pro-ams. That would be pretty neat.
That would be very
That
cool.
would be pretty neat. All the different cultures you'd find. I mean, imagine all the different food you'd get to try. That would be the coolest part, I think.
No,
would
it
be
wouldn't.
all the different food. Arlen says no. I need a hamburger and French fries, and I'm good.
No, I like different foods. No, I'm a big fan of. I mean, I enjoy, but I'm like traveling and eating different food and going city to city and that's not going to end well. Somewhere.
It's not gonna end well.
Now, it's funny you say that.
What do you do when you personally go on tour? You take your own food with you?
No, I think I'm much more aware of where I eat, and
Yeah.
I don't veer off too much, But again, if I was, I guess it just depends, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, he's like Boo Weekley when he went over for the Scottish Open that one
Right.
year, and they asked him if he got any advice on playing over there, and he says, "Yeah, they told me don't eat nothing that looks like a hot dog."
yeah, because it's haggis, so it's like some kind of blood sausage. Or,
Yeah.
That's my point. Like
that was the advice they gave him.
Sage advice.
I was
Exactly.
This is kind of an interesting topic though, and I want to hear more about the tour event. But you'd be shocked when it comes to like tour players and how they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't eat off the beaten path.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had a friend. I was coaching a guy.
I think all athletes are like that.
Yeah, they won't like. I had a friend. I was coaching a guy, mini tour guy, and one of his best friends is a guy Nick Lindheim, who's actually on the tour, and they used to play a lot together. And he said Nick is like so boring because he only wants to eat like I forget what it was. It was like he goes to only like 5 different restaurants because he knows.
You know their menu.
Knows what he can get. Knows it's not going to make him sick. Or
Yeah, and he knows what he does well with it in his
Yeah.
eating. And then we were talking about that, and then I was talking to somebody else about pros, and they said, "Oh no, it's exactly the same way." They eat a lot of the same stuff. Like even if they are traveling, they can't they'll eat the same foods for breakfast. Like they'll have scrambled eggs and toast, and they don't deviate. Like they won't change and have pancakes that morning, or they'll eat. And if they win or they play well.
whatever
Man.
that was.
And they eat the same. They'll eat the same stuff for lunch. and
Baseball pitchers are the same way.
Yeah.
just don't break whatever you got going. Same thing, any sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you if you look at the menus. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
so back to don't. So if it would be fun to go, but you know what? I guess I would have fun eating food if I just had to travel. If I was a tour player, I wouldn't though.
Yeah, but just playing in a pro-am. Okay, I don't feel good. You know what? I'll sit this out. I'll go sit at the bar,
drink a beer,
have a couple of beers. What do you mean these
Can you
aren't? What
drink
do you
warm
mean
beer?
you don't chill these?
Can you drink a warm beer like they do in Germany and different
But
parts?
it's not really warm. I mean, it's
that's right.
It's like a cellar temperature,
Right.
or it's not really warm like you would think.
It's not thick and
It's no.
no.
It's just not. It's not refrigerated and
Ice cold
and
like we
ice
get
cold
here.
like we get here.
Yeah,
But
it's more like just
But if
chill.
they know Americans are around, they'll actually serve beer on ice.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know you want it
Yeah.
chilled. Yeah.
Is that like an American thing? Like we
Yeah,
have our
yeah.
bill really cold and they
Yeah.
just have it chilled. I mean, not like
and we drink a lot of lighter beers.
Yeah.
which are better cold.
yes, because
Yeah.
they don't have as much flavor if they're not
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
Because we're drinking the refreshment aspect of it. I think when I
Yeah.
drink a beer, I think of when I drink a beer, I am kind of more of a light beer drinker. I think refreshment, not the hops and the flavor.
Have you tried? For Mother's Day we went to Disney. We were at Epcot, and in the German pavilion there they had a wheat beer with grapefruit in it.
Wow.
I've tasted that before.
That was really good. In fact, I bought a 6-pack from up the street here after I got back. But yeah, that's a nice summer type beer. It's a wheat beer, so it's got a little weight. It's got a little weight to it, but with the grapefruit in it was like, oh, this is so good.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of a simple beer drinker, so I'm not. I've been to. I mean, the microbrewery scene just blows my mind away. It's like too many choices for me.
Oh, I love microbrewery.
No, I know it's good stuff.
Going up
but
in
it's
Port
just
St. Lucie.
Too many choices.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go in there and get a flight. Try like 4 or 5 different ones. Oh yeah.
That's what a lot of people like to do. They'll get those flights and those different things.
Speaking of beer, get a little off track, but what the heck,
It's your show.
People that play golf, they drink beer.
That's right.
I was up in Cleveland one summer. Went up for a media trip, and we went around to all these different microbreweries that they have up there and all. And you've probably heard. I mean, I know they sell their beer in a lot of places here. Fathead Brewing Company is out of Cleveland, and
anything the word fat in it has to be a good brand, by the way. Have you ever heard a bad brand that didn't have fat in it? Okay, finish it. If you're going to call your product fat, it's going to be really good.
Exactly.
Lots of flavor, yeah.
It has to be.
So they brought us a flight of all their different. There were like 7 or 8, little tastes of beer. There were like 4 ounces of each or whatever.
Okay, so for our listening audience that doesn't know all the nomenclature, flight is not referring to the speed of the beer.
No.
Okay, it is a container size.
Yes.
Yes.
Usually, flight was when you have multiple beers on a little.
Usually, yeah.
A little tray.
A flight consists of like a tray.
Okay.
With like
4 different kinds.
4 to 6 ounces
sample.
and maybe 5 or 6 different glasses, a sample of each.
Got it.
So you kind of get an idea what you like, and you get to sample all the different kinds.
You pay for it though. You pay for it.
Well, yeah.
And then you say, "Oh, give me one of these."
Yeah. And one of the beers they had there was called Smokey the Beer. And I don't know what they did to it.
Tastes
But
like
it's
a
like
picnic,
cigarettes.
a picnic basket.
But it was like somebody put a cigar out in my beer. I did not like it much, and it was they
smoky.
smoked the
smoky.
barley or the hop, whatever it was. But, I mean, and it had a smoky taste to it that I did not like.
No.
I was like, oh, this is the worst beer I've ever had.
It's like somebody put a cigarette in the back room and served it to you.
Exactly.
Charged you $8 for it.
Exactly. I was like, no, thank you.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so that was my worst beer experience. Was just that one beer.
So that's like people who smoke. They say people who smoke have their taste buds aren't so good. They probably love that beer. They're like, it tastes like a cigarette.
Craig Worley, a good friend of mine, used to have Mrs. Peter's Smokehouse, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he would leave the smokehouse, and then he would go to the one of his favorite haunts, and then he'd get a Stella's. As far as he was concerned, that was the best beer ever.
Stella's a good beer.
Yeah, very good beer. But so he had the smoky flavor all over his body
From being in the smokehouse.
Everything was smoky.
Everything was smoky. But he said he was thinking if there was a way he could bottle it and sell it as a cologne, he would have done that.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Funny. I don't think so, but smoke is not. It's kind of how I like my ribs, not how I like my body to smell. So
Yeah. Well, a little bit of something for TV viewing this week. The U.S. Women's Open starts tomorrow.
And where's that being played?
It's played at Shoal Creek.
Shoal Creek, famous
Shoal
place.
Creek, famous place.
Yeah. Had a PGA there, right?
Yeah. Yep. Isn't that the one that they pulled it at first because they didn't have any minority members at one time?
Yes. It was a controversy.
Okay.
Right.
I remember that back in the day.
No, this is in the South, though. Shoal Creek.
It's in Alabama, I believe. Yeah.
And there was a big thing about they didn't have any minority people as members. Yeah. So they changed it.
73rd U.S. Women's Open starts tomorrow. Coverage starts on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow and Friday from 3 to 8.
What is Fox Sports 1?
It's how ESPN has about 27 different channels.
So Fox
Sports has several different channels.
So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever they got.
Okay. Usually Fox Sports 1. I think that's the one that usually carries the hockey. If you've been watching any of the Stanley Cup hockey playoffs.
When does Stanley Cup start?
It's already started. First game was the night before last, And Vegas.
We know that you're not watching.
Vegas won.
I'm gonna get hockey haters on my Twitter. And
I love hockey, man.
This is a golf show. I'm not supposed to know what hockey's going on, but
There it is.
And his weekend coverage is on Fox, just regular Fox,
they move up the channel
from 2 to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
So who's favored? Is it any?
Who would you?
It's so hard to figure, right?
It's hard to figure because there's so many of them. So many of the young ladies that play well.
Right.
I mean,
well, like when we talk about Masters or
knows?
Open, there is an upper echelon on the men's tour, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is.
There is an upper echelon, and then but the step down, which does include, Justin Rose does not make my upper echelon. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. No, probably
Right,
he's on the
a
cusp.
bubble.
Yeah, he's a bubble guy.
But
yeah.
he would not be like, if we sat here and said, who's your favorites for the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Rose doesn't come up in my brain, right?
Yeah.
Which means, that's weird. He doesn't. He should. He won. He's won one. He's playing hot. Why couldn't he?
Yeah, and he's playing well. Yeah.
Yeah. But women's golf, I think women's golf went through that phase when all of the Korean girls and all these, they're winning, and we kind of didn't have a lot of Americans winning as much.
Yeah.
Kind of lost track of it because I still think of Inbee Park. The name pops in my head, but I know there's a ton of good American players now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in fact, this past week at the LPGA's Volvic Championship, played in Michigan, Australian Minjee Lee
from Australia
won her 4th LPGA title on her 22nd birthday.
Minjee Lee. So I don't even know who she is. I haven't heard her. It's so sad.
She's won 4 times on the LPGA
I gotta pay
tour,
more attention.
and she's only 22.
Wow, that's a great year for anyone. Wow.
Yeah.
4 times.
4 times by the age of 22 is pretty good.
And she's an Australian.
She's Australian.
But her name is Minjee
Lee. So she's, probably a transplant, from
it sounds Korean.
From Korean, maybe the Philippines or
No, Philippines.
Not the Philippines, no, but yeah.
Could be China. It could be.
Could be.
Lee's a common like Smith.
Yep.
In America,
And in the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship,
there we go.
Which we used to have here. They used to play that all the time at PGA Village, at PGA National down the road. England's Paul Broadhurst shot 64-63 over the weekend.
Wow. It's golf on your ball there.
It's his 2nd senior major. He won the Senior Open back in 2016. So he's got to... Now, Scott McCarron should have won this event if he could have putted.
At all.
Really? I mean, I watched him miss on... Oh, my God. He was playing so well, and he got the last few holes on Saturday and just piddled away about 3 or 4 short putts.
Really?
And then on Sunday, it kept going. I was kind of I was half-heartedly watching it while I was doing other stuff, and I saw him miss like 4 putts inside 5 feet. I mean, he should have won this thing.
Yeah,
but he just couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I can see you can't make you're not making everything.
But at that level, you got to make your 5-footers.
When you get inside 5 feet and you're leading the tournament or you're knocking on the top 5, you got to make those.
Yeah.
And when you start missing them, boy, they start to snowball.
What's funny about 5 feet? Like people don't realize, like I do skill testing, right? And 3 feet at 3 feet. 3 feet's 95 to 100. I mean, most people, well, not all most people, but, people that are, work at it can make 3-footers, right? 5-footers, the numbers drop dramatically. Like you would think that just those 2 more feet, like when I do testing, 3-footers, like I said, they're always 90. Even like for not really highly skilled players, 3-footers people make. 5-footers, they'll you'll see like people start coming in at, they'll drop 40%. I mean, you're talking they'll make 65, 70%. A lot of people still make, but nobody gets all of a sudden 5 feet out of 10, you're not making 9s. A lot of people making 7s and 8s.
Yeah.
And then you do 20 of them, it kind of hovers. So
yeah,
it's really funny, and the numbers just disappear. I mean, you get to 10 feet. I mean, if you make 6 out of 10 from 10 feet, you're like unbelievably good. So anyway, it's a lot tougher to make 5-footers. So I'm giving Scott McCarron a little bit of break, but he's never really been a great putter, right? He's always had putter issues, and he's been a belly guy.
And he's still using the long putter without anchoring it. Yeah. So So he's a guy that's like you said, he's
always had issues.
He's
with
dabbled a lot with
Yeah.
with his putter.
Yeah. Putter dabbler. Scott McCarron is now labeled putter dabbler.
This is a G-rated show.
Am I missing dabbler? Because it's not. I don't have that context. So. Dabble is like to just dabble in things,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So dabbler is something that someone.
We were fishing for double entendres here.
I got you.
Yes.
I lost the whole conversation.
Now you want to talk about slow play?
No.
Did you? I know you don't. The women's NCAA tournament was finished up this past weekend.
Okay.
And was aired on the Golf Channel. The format is now match play.
I know,
in the
it's
finals.
so confusing. I can't figure out what they're doing anymore. Match play, team play. It seems like there's 2 or 3 different versions, right?
Yeah. This was in this event. Arizona played Alabama in the final
for the championship.
A lot of good shots being hit, but
Slow play.
the time it took them to hit the shots is what bothered everybody. I mean, a lot of people they're blaming the coaches and the NCAA officials who have refused to. I like this quote. They've refused to institute hard and real consequences and have turned the college game into a Russian death march. As the matches between Alabama and Arizona tightened, every crucial shot featured at least one coach, sometimes 2, walking a player through a pre-shot routine. Some even lined players up on the tee. Man, And they said the most ridiculous coaching intrusions came on the greens.
Oh gosh, you have no idea what.
It says in the penultimate match, Alabama freshman Angelica Maresco had an 8-footer for birdie on the 18th hole that would have squared the match and given the Tide one more chance at victory. But rather than trust the player's ability, head coach Mick Potter crouched on the green, reading the break, talking to her, going over through everything. Man, that would drive me nuts.
Did she make it?
Yeah, she wound up making it, but it's under the old rules, right, coaches could walk with the players up the fairways, but could not help them on the greens or in bunkers. Now, some people argued that by allowing the coaches to become more involved, play would speed up.
No, it's going to slow down.
That is not what happened if you saw any of this past weekend. The last 2-player match in the women's final went off at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. It ended at 8 p.m.
It's still 5 hours.
5 hours
for 2 players.
There's talk that if they had to play, they had to play a playoff hole. If they had to play any more, they would have had to come back.
Wow.
Because there just wasn't any daylight left. That's bad. That's right.
It's not good for golf. But
no.
I'll tell you what's interesting about that, because I coached high school golf for many years, right? Now in high school, you're not allowed to do any reading of greens, right? You can only talk to your players between green to tee, right? Or tee to green. Wait, no, green to tee, right? So I can only catch them when they come off of a green.
Yeah, talk to them before they get to the next tee box.
I can't line them up. I can't walk on the putting green. Now, in college, though, the reason that rule changed is because as colleges got more competitive, coaches are coaching for jobs in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, if I'm a college coach and my college is paying this money to train, and I'm training you, and we're doing our thing, it's like kind of having a caddy, right? But it's a caddy that can give a lot more advice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, especially younger players that don't have a lot of, I guess we're going to call it, a lot of maturity or just not a lot of knowledge. They don't know how to do a lot of silly little things, right?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't cause a round to be that bad. So anyway,
Yeah.
Are we done?
No.
We're
gonna
going
break?
to take
Just our last break.
Take a last break, and then we get back. We'll
Wrap it up.
wrap it up.
All right.
Put a bow on it.
See you in a couple.
And welcome back to the
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
talking golf. Look, we got good though. We got good. Ugh,
A little bit.
we did cover. So we covered the tour. We covered some ladies.
Yeah.
We covered some senior golf.
Some women's amateur
Yeah,
golf.
we made fun of Kevin Na with a song. we kind of had a really interesting.
Why
About-
not?
Yeah, what the heck, right?
Yeah, poor Kevin Na.
I
Na's
don't think
he's
that's
never
the
gonna
first
listen
time
to
that's
our-
ever happened in his life.
Probably
No,
not.
no.
No.
It can't be.
Nah.
It's not. Doesn't happen.
Anyway. Oh. Who do you think I guess someone asked Tom Watson,
It was one of my favorite golf swings of all time.
who has won
if
what?
not the most favorite.
who has won
I don't know,
5 times the Open Championship?
5 times.
Who his pick would be at Carnoustie for this summer?
Okay, this is going to be an interesting one.
Who do you think Tom Watson would pick?
Okay, so first I got to ask, is it an American?
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to say it's not one of the young guys.
It's not one of the young guys.
And I'm going to say he's going to pick. I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I mean, I almost said Matt Kuchar, but I know it's not Matt Kuchar.
No, not Matt Kuchar.
But I'm going to go Stuart Sink out of the blue.
No. You're going to be surprised.
Okay.
Jupiter resident,
Come on.
Tiger Woods.
That's what
Tom Watson says he just thinks Tiger is getting his game back, feels that some of the shots that Tiger can hit, namely that stinger that he hits.
Is he back to the stinger? I haven't watched.
He hit it a few times the last couple of events. Yeah, I've watched him hit it the last few events. He just says it's a venue that he thinks is built for Tiger's current game right now, and thinks that
He's got a history there.
thinks that he can do it.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Now, when is that coming up again?
That's in July.
July. So
That's in July.
we'll have to get on that wagon.
The 147th Open Championship.
Man, it's been played a long time.
Yep.
That's like before electricity. It's pretty close.
Wow.
It might just be. I think it might
I have
be.
to ask Tesla about that.
Yeah, really.
Tesla said he had it going. He could have lit the whole place up. It was easy.
We could have been playing at night.
We could have all powered by the earth. All we need is more copper tubing.
Exactly. Well, as long as he doesn't play the 18th hole like Vandeveld did. We talked about that just.
But they're gonna show that over and over. I'm just gonna like cringe. I can't watch it.
I know.
It's like the worst.
Well, even
His face.
even Justin Leonard, who wound up winning that, was like it was hard to watch.
Yeah, Justin Leonard doesn't really probably go, look what I won. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That guy's face when he had his pants pulled up, his face was so. He's got his arm. You know the one who's got his arms crossed and he's just like staring like. It's like, wow.
Is this really happening?
Oh, it's so painful. I can't even.
Somebody
it makes me sad.
Somebody
I'm
wake
thinking
me
about
up, please.
it. So Tiger Woods is going to win at Carnoustie.
That's what Tom Watson
Well,
says.
That's something we're going to have to talk more about
Yeah.
because I think Tiger Woods always has some interest in our programming.
Yeah.
By Jove, Watson, I think you've got it.
Bonjour. Bonjour, Watson.
So are we done? Are we good, Frank? We had a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
We are.
It's in
Maybe
the can.
next week we'll
Outta here.
have more golf to talk about that we actually played or
Yeah, hopefully the rain stops or lightens up or something.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, if a month from now I hear we're in drought conditions again, I'm literally going to drive to the news channel station and punch someone in the
where
throat.
to go? Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.